Wolf Tick Nation, thank you guys for tuning in to once again another Wolf Tick Videos episode. On today's episode, we have got a Walmart bike. Now the cool thing about this bike, guys, and I'm being 100% truthful, I have no clue what is in this box.
Yeah, so, oh man, I gotta look up the name. Maybe I'll look it up when you're looking at stuff. I'm going through and I'm handling some comments, and there was somebody that says, hey, have you seen the new bike, the new Walmart bike or whatever? Are you guys going to get it? You know, or I really want to know, I want a review on it. I said, well, let me look into it if it's not too much, you know. So I went ahead and I got out of that and I opened up the other one with the old face computer. Sure enough, the new Ozark Trail Vibe is what it's called.
Vibe. I don't even know the name.
No, you don't even know. I didn't talk to you about it. It's $298. Ordered it. Told you, hey, I ordered a bike, and here's the kicker. As of when we ordered it, you can get it in small, medium, and large.
Oh, it's a sized bike.
It's a sized bike. I don't know if this is a good value or not. We're going to see what features it has. It could be a horrible value, but...
And guys, like all of our episodes with our new bikes, we will be doing a real-time review on this bike, taking it down, most likely, the cat's meow. Everybody's favorite test shot.
If weather holds up, we'll probably do it this weekend. We've tried to hurry up and get this video out.
Yeah, hurry up and get this video out. All right, guys. The Ozark Trail
Vibe.
The first time.
Get off my hand!
Tomatoes. First time. Whoa.
Okay.
How much?
It was
$298.
$298.
Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is internally routed frame. Okay, first thing I'm noticing. Second thing, that S is an SR Suntour fork.
Yes.
It's a coil fork, so it's steel most likely. Okay.
But it is a Suntour, the low-end Suntour fork, which is better than a lot of them. First thing I noticed is it does have the it has the old school bolt-on, rear. No.
Okay, it's got a bolt-on rear. That's first thing you noticed. It's got a 27.2 millimeter seat post.
Okay, so 27.2. Which I don't have a problem with 27.2 on the seat post. We've had a problem with them, Yeah.
So this is the front wheel, and it also is not a quick release.
Okay, so it's a bolt. Okay, it's a bolt. And what size is that?
That's a 160 rotor.
Okay. Is this a 160 rear or is this a 140? It looks small.
That looks very small.
It has the rims that we're not big on, except for, look at that.
Oh, it's got Presta valves.
It's got Presta valves.
But see, this is something I don't like about it already. It's got Presta valves, but it's got those damn rims. And you guys all know about these things. You have to get like the long stem Prestas, and they're so hard to find because this rim's so deep.
Time out. We've never had deep rims with Presta.
Yeah, we've had a Fragment 500 with them. Oh, that was Schrader.
That was Schrader.
Well, maybe you can take that back.
You can take that back. It says rider height 5'6" to 6'2".
And it looks like, and we're going to be going through all this stuff, but this is, again, initial impressions, 27.5 by 2.3.
That's not too bad.
2.3?
Hell, the damn GT Aggressive Pro's like 2.1.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so I'm going to get you guys a little close-up action here. I want to check out this fork, SR Suntour XCM30. That sounds familiar. Yeah, we have an XCM30 over there. This comes on the Axum, guys, I think. I'm pretty sure.
It came on something. It wasn't the GT.
No. Well, wait, was it?
What's the GT?
It may have been the GT. Let us know. That says 29er on the lower over there. We got one hanging up over there. Okay, tapered head tube. All right. Now, one thing I do want to check and see is if this actually is the adapter or if it's actual tapered steer tube.
I'm going to say it's an adapted.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's not a tapered fork.
Now, let's see what the color variances are, because the front brake U-Link little caliper down here is orange. I mean, that's orange. Dude, that is so weird. Ozark Trail. With the internal routing, of course, we got the big old heavy kickstand there. They were like, you know what? We're going to come out with this bike for $298, under $300. Let's go ahead and make an Ozark Trail so it's all, it's not a Kent.
But here's my thing. Obviously, people are going to make the comparisons to the Travail, right? For the price range, or the Axum. But for the Travail, remember, the Travail's a 29er, so is the Axum. So this is a sized small, medium, large 27.5 bike.
I'm just wanting to see if it's actually a medium.
Well, we're going to measure it and find out.
Okay, it's made by Kent International, made in China. Okay. And it does say 27.5 Ozark Trail Vibe MD. The internal routing is very strange for the rear brake. It's like hole here, hole here. Okay, we're internal.
It's got that, just looking at it from here, it definitely has old school looking geometry.
It looks very up and down.
Very old school. It just has a very old school look.
It's very interesting. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to reserve the way we feel about things until after the real-time review. Anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, my initial impressions on this thing, I think it's got...
Well, my initial impression is I think it's a hard sell at $298 when you can go $100 more for the Travail. But with the Travail, you're stuck. You got one size.
Yeah, and the Travail is routed wrong. This right here actually looks like it's routed right. But anyway, guys, let's let me go ahead and we'll start putting this bike together, and then we'll put up on the bike stand, and we will again after later on in the episode we'll get the weight of this thing. We're gonna spec it out and all that stuff. Let me put it together. I do like that it's got to press the valves. That's so strange.
Yeah, there's some different things.
Alright guys, well here is the Ozark Trail Vibe 27.5 mountain bike, 27.5 medium frame, right? And I guess you get to see the small, medium, and large.
Medium.
We've done
you gotta give it the old quote, medium.
We've done some measurements, and from the center of the crank to the top of the Seatpost tube is actually 19 inches. So theoretically...
Which is normally how they measure out, and it's normally 17 for a medium.
Yeah, so 19 is usually a large. Now, there are a few things while we're putting it together that we're kind of tripping out on, okay? This bike is such a mysterious build.
It is definitely a mysterious bike.
We were talking about seeing if this, it's actually a tapered head tube, but we're saying, well, let's see if the Suntour fork is actually has a tapered steer tube, or if it's a straight steer tube with a welded-on adapter, because we all know Walmart, that's kind of what they do. That's so normal. I don't think we've had a Walmart bike yet that's actually had a tapered steer tube. So on this one, we go to take it apart, and something super interesting is not only does it have sealed bearings, both top and bottom for the headset. Very interesting.
That's very strange.
The lower crown race is not welded on to the straight steer SR Suntour fork.
Or glued or anything.
Yeah, it's on there. I don't know if I would actually go through with trying to pry that off. But what we're getting at, which you could do if you were willing to take off that adapter off of the bottom, because that's a straight steer adapter, you could buy a straight steer fork. Something like this here. This is the Fusion Enix 27.5 fork that I love.
It's an X Fusion.
Oh, sorry, X Fusion RL2. You could buy this fork, straight steer air fork, and you could take the adapter, the crown race off of the bottom, slap it on here, and get it to fit on a sealed bearing tapered head tube, which is pretty cool,
But you couldn't buy a tapered fork and put it and preserve this head tube unless you had a crown race.
Yeah, unless you had a crown race, a tapered crown race, or if you had a completely new headset. I don't know if you could just order a crown race. You couldn't put a tapered steer tube fork on this. Yeah, so it's very interesting.
It's strange.
Let's do a magnet test. Okay, we're gonna see what on this bike is steel, what's aluminum. So the frame is aluminum. The crank arms are not steel. I'm not sure if they're magnesium or what, but they're not steel.
Why can't they be aluminum?
I mean, they could be aluminum. The wheel set is aluminum. The fork is steel. The bar...
The lowers are steel?
Yeah, the lowers are steel. The stanchions are steel. The bar is steel, and so is the stem. The Seatpost tube is steel. We've got a lot of steel here, but, I mean, the main part of the bike, which is kind of cool, the frame is aluminum.
With the levers.
I think they're magnesium. They feel like they're going to break off in your hand. But we'll be finding out in the real-time review.
Don't presume that.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the wheel set. Let's talk about that first, okay? Now, there's interesting here, too. So this wheel set is sent to you with the tubes are actually pressed to valves. Okay?
That's
interesting.
Different.
Not Schrader, because you never see pressed to valves from a Walmart bike. Under $300. Pressed to valves. The rims are, they're like V Performance 27.5. I'm guessing they're double wall, okay? Most likely. The tires are unbranded, but they're 27.5 by 2.3. Now the plus thing to that is on the rear, the frame design, you actually, I think you could fit up to like a 2.8 if you wanted to on the rear of this bike. Which, some people like them fatty tires.
Possibly. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, I'm guessing 2.6. And I could fit my whole damn hand on the side of the wheel.
2.6, probably, maybe 2.8. Not for sure. Haven't done it.
Yeah, haven't done it yet. So the wheel set is just your basic wheel set. One of the downsides to that as well is you have front and rear threaded axle with a 15mm nut. But, I mean, the bike's $300.
No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to make concessions for that.
Okay. Yeah, at least give you a damn quick release in the front, people.
No. Let's just say this. They're the 50mm threaded. Not big on that, but let's keep moving.
And the reason why is because if you're out in the trails, you can't just use your hands to undo the wheels. If you have a flat, you have to bring damn 50mm wrench with you.
We're going to talk about what we'd have liked to see or so.
Yeah, we'll do a little positive and negatives here in a little bit. Okay, remember we got the weight, we got the standover, all that good stuff, and we got the shift test coming up. Now, speaking of the shift test, the group set. The shifter is an 8-speed Kazuno. Now, it does have a display window so you can see what gear you're in, and it is a trigger and a thumb shifter only, okay? Doesn't feel the greatest, but we'll find out in the real-time review. The rear derailleur is actually a micro shift 8-speed derailleur. No clutch, nothing fancy. Now, the free hub, or free wheel, sorry, it does have a free wheel, is a 13 to 34 tooth free wheel in the rear. Not very much gearing options because remember this bike is a 1x, so climbing is probably really going to suck.
Well, another part of that is it's got a 40 tooth chainring.
42 chainring, I mean this thing is geared for road use, you know what I mean? So it's going to be very interesting on the real-time review. It does have the little chain basher guard on the outside of the chainring, which is, I don't know, it's interesting. 170mm crank arms, plastic pedals. Not a lot in the gearing department. You know, maybe a road bike it would be kind of cool for, but this is obviously a mountain bike.
We'll talk about what we think it's for at the end, too.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the brakes. This is something else that's interesting, and it's like, well, why wouldn't you just give me 160mm rotors, both front and rear? You got a 140 in the rear, and you've got a front 160 disc mechanical with the link calipers, and those are the style of calipers that only push one piston in and it smashes the other one. I know some people don't like that, right? And remember, we're going to be talking about some of the positives and negatives. I keep wanting to say things, but I want to kind of hold that back for here in a little bit. The seat post, we said it earlier, but we're going to say it again, so 27.2. And something that's interesting is this bike has internal routing, right? You got one for your rear brake and you have one for your group set. The interesting thing is they didn't give you any kind of internal routing for your seat post tube. You think that maybe they would have just drilled the hole and put a little plastic cover over there like they did with the other stuff, but they don't give you one here. But 27.2 is not a... not really a hard dropper to find. I think that's a big misconception. It's just they're kind of getting phased out a little bit. And finding 27.2 with proper drop and millimeters and all that is a little difficult, but they're still out there. They can be found. Let's talk about the front of the bike. Again, we got the tapered head tube with sealed bearings, which is pretty cool on the headset. The bar is right around 670 millimeters, give or take. We've got one of the world's ugliest two bolt stems. That's a hideous stem. It's right at 60 millimeters long. It's steel. The front of the bike is probably going to be very heavy. The grips are just generic, really bad grips. Non-lock on. They are thin grip. I'm a thin grip man, so that is a plus, I guess, that they're thin. But I'm guessing there's going to be some whiskey throttling on the real-time review. The fork. And I'm pretty damn sure that this is the same fork that comes on the Axum DP and the Axum Large, or the regular Axum, is the XCM30 SR Suntour 27.5 coil.
Correct you if you're wrong.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. I've done this a couple times. The stanchions on the SR Suntour are right at 30 millimeters wide, and the exposed stanchion, or exposed travel, again, this is the amount of travel that this bike has, is right at 106 millimeters. Now, this fork also does feature the preload adjustments on the top of the stanchions. Most of the time they're pretty bad. We'll find out in the real-time review because you just don't have a clear-cut lock on or off and kind of where you're at. It's a little
But this fork historically is pretty tough.
It's a very tough fork. I will say that about, yeah, you're right. And again, the front wheel set is a threaded axle. The bike, I mean, it looks more like Wolfman was saying. It does look like a total mountain bike, kind of the old school style with a tapered head tube, so with more modern stuff to it. Just not...
the geometry definitely looks like more of the older style mountain bikes. The earlier mountain bikes.
The earlier mountain bikes.
And we'll talk about who we think it's for again later on.
And I guess Ozark Trail, wanting to get their hand in there and make a mountain bike, I mean...
I mean, at least you can match now when you go if you want to go backpacking, camping with all the Ozark Trail stuff, you can even have a bike to match.
When I go ride, I put a fishing pole right here through the back. I mean, I'll have the Ozark Trail, I'll be hooked up. My tackle box is Ozark Trail. But let's go ahead and get into the shifting test. Let's do the shift test. We're going to do a standover. We're going to get the weight of this Ozark Trail mountain bike. Yeah, let's do it. All right, guys, here we go with the shift test 8-speed micro shift 26.
Can I turn this back now?
No, you got to be in that shot over there. Kazuno freewheel.
Excuse you.
All right, shift test. All right, she's crunchier off the bat.
Well, that's not good. Well, maybe when we get back up there, it won't be so crunchy.
We'll go all the way down to 8th gear.
Let's start this. Let's move up. Let's start going.
All right. Oh, okay. Maybe it was just out. out.
Okay,
so right now
2.
we're in 2nd gear.
That's a long throw. Let me see when they grab.
1, 2. Okay, we're in 4th now.
Well, we skipped a gear.
Just go all the way down or up.
Well, just let me. Is that what you want?
Thank you. Okay.
I wanted to go through the gears. Dang
We're in
it.
8th gear. We're in 8th.
All right. Ready?
7th.
Well,
7th. 7th.
Oh, that's
Come on, Dad. Shift it to 7th.
I did twice.
All right, we're in 7th now.
All right, hang on. Look at that wheel speed.
Oh man, smooth.
That's another. Did it go?
This thing's like going 100 miles an hour.
Did it go? Where's
No.
it at? Oh, that's all I got. I didn't even click.
All right.
Let me go but shift back down. Or back up. Let me try that again. But let me do the full pulls.
Okay, go
Ready?
ahead. Yeah. Now back.
Okay, ready? Full
back.
pull.
Go.
Full pull. How many was that? Oh, full
You
pull.
went from 8th to 6th.
Okay, full pull. Ready?
Yep. You went from 6th to 2nd.
And it doesn't even click on that one.
All right, hit the brake.
Oh
All right.
boy.
Let's do a standover, and then let's get the weight of this one. 19-inch frame, 27.5, medium.
It's medium and 19 got me confused.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it is.
I should have went small.
Should have went with a small.
Well, if I would have known it was a 19, I would have went small.
I mean, guys, there's no room here. There's no room to breathe.
How's the cockpit? Sit up on the seat. Kind of get an idea for the cockpit, the reach and all that. Is that more medium?
Yeah, it's definitely medium here.
Okay.
The thing that I always fear with small bikes, and the aluminum comp Zerker is one of them, is the cockpit is tiny. It's so small.
That's why I didn't order small.
I'm glad you did,
about the small
it
cockpit.
feels crowded. You know what I mean? This is a 60mm stem, and that's probably perfect for me. Those damn bars are crooked as hell. One thing I am going to say is I'm really wanting a whiskey throw all that sucker. It's really wanting to spin in my hand. That's going to be dangerous. Hopefully it's not too hot out when we test this thing. But standover,
I hope it's warm.
Standover for medium is a fail. You know what I mean? That's a lot.
I mean, you are 5'5", and it does say 5'6". I don't know. And this online, I swore online it said shorter. I have to look.
All right, let's weigh this thing.
Yeah, let's just weigh it and go from there.
All right, guys. Well, the weight, 36 pounds even. I thought it was going to be 38 pounds.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be in that 34 to 36. But what's nice, you thought 38, I thought 34. It's 36. That's perfect. All right, well, why don't we talk about the positives and negatives, and then we'll get into who we think it's for.
Okay, I want to say my negatives.
Well, no, you want to say your positives.
Oh, I want to state my positives. $298 for a mountain bike that has a tapered head tube.
A warranty.
A warranty.
And you can get an extended warranty when you order them.
And you can take this bad boy back.
Yeah,
so,
for 90 days, I believe you can take it back.
That's a good positive. Second positive is it has an SR Suntour very tough fork that we've ridden on.
Tough.
It's got a tough fork. And that you get such a cool headset that actually has sealed bearings.
A smooth, sealed bearing
and
headset.
Basically, you know that's going to
positive.
last for a very long time. So
yeah,
that's cool.
the headset, which is strange on this bike, to have that headset. I think another positive is when it comes to the aesthetics of the bike. It's not a bad looking bike.
It's really not.
But one of the positives, at least the levers are black, where you don't like, because you hate when they're the chrome, like the fork stanchions.
Yeah.
You don't like
it does
that,
a good job of hiding itself.
Yeah, I mean,
it hides things well.
There's some strange things about this bike that's very different, and there's not a ton of positives, but it's not. I mean,
it's a one by, so it really simplifies things.
It's a one by. It's positive. I do, but if you're gonna have the deep dish rims, I do appreciate the Prestas. Although I'm not a big Presta guy, but the deep dish rim.
You're right.
Presta.
Yeah, that it does have Presta. Is a
the
cool
tires
thing.
don't look horrible. Don't know how they're gonna be, but they don't look horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's probably
enough on the positives.
Yeah, that's gonna be about the positives.
It's got a kickstand.
Yeah, which, you know, for this kind of bike and who it's going to be for, I think is a good thing. Okay, so let's go for some negatives. First of all, that stem is atrocious looking. Yep. It's a 2-bolt stem. Ouch. The front of this bike has got problems other than the headset and the fact it's tapered head tube. That's a positive by the tapered head tube. Besides those two things, the front of this is a dumpster fire because it's all steel. It's all heavy. It's got integrated brake and shifter. It's got non-lock on grips. So and it's got, on the fork, it's got the bolt, the screw bolt, 15 millimeter, old school
axle, threaded axles.
So the front is a bit of a dumpster fire.
Yes.
But now we get past that. I mean,
the flames get bigger.
Well, they do here and there get bigger when we move on.
The 40 chain ring.
The 40 tooth chain ring is very. I don't know. I will say this. I think the idea behind that is when I get to the targeted audience, I'll make that make more sense.
Okay, so the 42.
So it's got integrated. That's a positive, sort of. It could be looked at as a negative.
It's just kind of like.
It's kind of afterthoughty looking.
It feels afterthoughty.
But okay, let's get past that, and then let's see, negative. Well, hang on. Here's a positive. We're talking about quick release seat adjustment on the seat post.
Yeah.
I mean, some bikes don't have that.
Yeah, but the negative is that it doesn't have an internal routed.
That is a negative.
Seat post. That's
Absolutely.
a negative because you want to have a negative. You want to have a internally routed frame, which is cool. And then you go, well, damn, I can't get an internally routed.
Although with that seat post, you would probably, if you even go a dropper on it anyway, which I don't know why you put a dropper on this bike, but if you were going to, you could go with the lever style like you have on the
Project Cheech. Yeah.
Let's talk about this. When I ordered this bike, I think it was Badger Printing, commented and asked that he's interested or wanted us to review this bike.
Okay.
And we like to do what we can for the Wolf Tank Nation. A new bike, hadn't heard of it yet. I've heard people talking about a new bike, but I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I looked it up when I was answering his comment, saw this bike and said, all right, well, it's under $300. I'm going to go ahead and order it. And it was sized. That was a big positive, by the way. Sized frame. Sort of a positive. But what I was hopeful for is it was a 1x, and I thought, if this is a free hub, because it's an 8-speed 1x, I said, if that's a free hub at under $400, that'd be the first bike ever under $400, much less under $300. Under $300 is another, that's a whole other ballgame. If it would have been, if nothing else was different about this bike, but it was a free hub, this bike would be it'd be a unicorn. Again, I get so frustrated with these Walmart bikes because the last time we had the Travail, they had a chance. It was supposed to have hydraulic, but in the beginning we thought it was going to have hydraulic brakes. There was a mix-up, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a 10-speed, this and that, whatever. Everyone knows about that. They've been watching the channel. And it was that chance to be the new norm, the new setting that standard.
Yeah.
I feel like that right there missed the boat.
Because
and that's
no free will.
That's a big negative. Limited range, and it's an 8-speed. So you can't even go mega range on it. If you want that 7-speed mega range everyone converts their freewheel to, you have a problem because it's an 8-speed.
Alignment issues, yeah.
Non-replaceable derailleur hanger is an issue for a lot of people. We haven't had a huge problem with them, but yes, I understand people's angst about it, if you will. I wished it was. That's another thing. They could have put replaceable that and a cassette, a free hub, and this bike becomes completely different.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely, I mean,
even with the rest of the crap.
Yeah. So when you start talking about upgrades and things like that, it kind of becomes like, okay, well, that's 100 there, group set, that's another 150, and then you go, well, brakes, it's going to be another 120. You can start throwing money at this.
Then you start going for $100 more to get a Travail, where you don't have to buy wheels for, although it's a 29 and it's not sized.
Or you could just make it a mullet.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But I mean, all in all, who's this bike for?
Who's this bike for? Yeah, this bike, I think, with the looks and geometry and the 40-tooth chain ring being a 1x, I think what this is for that person that kind of is playing with the idea of wanting to get into the budget segment of mountain biking, but really rides on pavement most of the time. This person that's going to own this bike has a hard time finding bikes to fit them because maybe they're a smaller stature person. This bike is for that person that's mainly a 90% asphalt rider.
Okay.
And like you said, in a small, maybe a kid that's making the transition into it.
Because, you know, a lot of the kids' bikes out there, we know, are 26-inch, you know, and I think a kid would prefer to
or
kind of
24-inch.
a more of a modern style tapered head tube 27.5.
Yeah, so there's a few things about this. It's interesting. It has some weird things about it, but I don't feel, I can't get behind this at $298 right now. And I'm not going to talk about used bikes because we don't really go there because the market's so different for everywhere you are. As far as new bikes, I would say pass on this unless you're looking for the small. Pass on this for something like the Axum in a medium, if you're looking for that size, or the Travail, which is not a huge bike. But the reviews to come. And you're going to be fair in the review. You're not going to get into bike bashing. And no one should be bashed for this bike. I guess I'm having a hard time seeing where this bike slots. Just, it's confusing for me.
Yeah, it's confusing. But, alright guys, well, that was the Ozark Trail, the camping bike is what I call it. The Vibe. You know, I wish it would have come with a lantern or something. That is the Ozark Trail Vibe with SR Suntour 4 tapered head tube, micro shift 26 derailleur. Initial impressions. We appreciate you guys watching. Again, man, Walmart ride. We're going to
ride it like you bought it at Walmart.
We're going to ride it like we bought it at Walmart. All right, guys. So
we bought this with our own money, by the way.
Yes.
Full disclosure.
Yeah. Wolfstick Nation, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out the affiliate links in the description below. Check out the link for this bike. Maybe you ought to buy one and let us know in the comments what you think.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Until next time, we will see you. Next time you see this bike, it's going to be on the Real Time Review.
And real quick, I'm going to rewind that back. If any of you out there have seen the small or have a small, please let us know this. Maybe measure it out for us, and or let us know about the standover height and how tall you are.
Do that.
Thank you.
All right, guys.